Coming up on this week's episode of My Medical Mixtape. You go to great lengths, Tom, to find really wild places. What draws you there?
First trip, Mark tried to kill us.
He was wearing short shorts, cowboy boots, and a very obvious pistol.
Early on in our career, I feel like everyone was burnt out. And how did you combine being outside and practicing medicine? I didn't realize how desperate I needed friends until actually Hurricane Harvey.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just be in the ER dealing with COVID.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer. Kind of makes you want to be better around these patients because, you don't realize how much they're going through unless you're going through it yourself.
Right.
But sometimes saying you're not alone.
Yeah.
And here's some pancakes.
Here's some pancakes.
And that's all you need.
That's all you need. I was 13 years old in 1992, and grunge music was everywhere. I loved it. And it wasn't just Nirvana. It was all sorts of bands, like Alice in Chains. And of course, Pearl Jam. Oh man, these songs. I needed these at 13. So many mixed emotions, so much middle school, so many hormones. These songs did it, man. Channeled whatever teenage angst I might have had in my idyllic suburban life and gave that angst voice. I loved these songs. But does all of life, even middle school life, really have to be so dark and angsty? Some part of me back then, even while trying to pretend I was cool and could rock an untucked flannel shirt just as well as the next insecure adolescent, a part of me was reaching for some musical light in the midst of all this dark alt-rock moodiness. Some part of me was reaching for an anthem. Some part of me was reaching for this. Man, what a banger. I needed this song in 1992. I think the world needed this song. And it definitely needed this music video. I don't know if you remember the video, but it's perfect. Picture denim jeans, fringed leather jacket, desert Southwest, a red convertible, small town hijinks, and Tom Cochran singing and playing his harmonica and guitar like his life depended on it. Just a dude on the side of the road in the desert Southwest playing his guitar at sunset. Picture earnestness. Picture optimism. Picture the perfect yin to the Alice in Chains and Nirvana yang of it all. My absolute favorite part of the song is the exuberant gimme, 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 yeah, and the third time through the chorus. You know the line. Tom goes on to gimme yeah 3 other times. That's 4 rounds of gimme yeahs in this song. How many singers do you know that go for it like that? It's amazing. He's all in on this song, and that's why I love it so much. He puts it all out there. Now, this song isn't for everyone. Maybe it's too sunny, too poppy, too corny, but I love it. And I think deep down we all know we needed it. We all needed to know in the midst of our grungy angst that it was okay to still dream, to aspire, to long for the freedom of an open road, to look off into the sunset. And we also needed songs that could play in the background of middle school graduation slideshows. But you know what we didn't need? The 2006 cover version of this song recorded by country group Rascal Flatts. Come on, Rascal. Really? What's up with the hyper-polished vocals? What's that background singing situation? Gross. You're just going to record this song and make it cornier sounding? Where's the raw energy and the dust and the dirt of the open road? Unacceptable. And your gimme, 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 gimme yas? They just don't feel right. I don't buy it. Tom Cochrane rules and his song rules. This version? Well, I guess it worked for a Pixar Cars movie. Now, I don't mean to throw shade, Rascal Flatts. This podcast celebrates music of all kinds. It's just I have mixed feelings about cover songs, especially cover songs that are just straightforward copies. I say if you're going to cover someone else's song, do something cool with it. Like the band Keep Shelley in Athens did with their cover of Don't Fear the Reaper. Or like the Gourds did with Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice.
So much drama in ABC, it's kinda hard being Snoop D-O-double-G, but I somehow...
Now that's just good, clean fun. I don't often celebrate the cover versions of a song more than the original. To birth the song, to bring it into the world, surely this is a greater accomplishment, generally speaking, than re-recording a song that already exists. Still, like Pablo Picasso said, good artists copy and great artists steal. And some reinterpretations of songs are just incredible. How about Johnny Cash's covers of Hurt and Personal Jesus? So much pain and authenticity in those late recordings, just like in Willie Nelson's cover of Pearl Jam's Just Breathe. Or how about when Ryan Adams did a song-for-song reimagining of Taylor Swift's entire 1989 album? That was epic. And let's not fail to acknowledge my favorite cover song of all time, Sinead O'Connor's Nothing Compares to You. Did you know that was a cover of a Prince song?
Nothing compares. Nothing compares to you.
Today, friends, we're going to talk about Joe Cocker's cover version of The Beatles with a little help from my friends, which in many ways blows the original recording out of the water. And in this episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about just how raw and desperate that cover is, and how it represents the kind of fire-forged friendships we all need to get by. My name is Tyler, and this is my medical mixtape, a podcast where we talk about music and medicine, grief and joy, life and death, and whatever else happens to come up in between. Like all our episodes, today's stories are based on real patient encounters, with details and identifying information changed to protect patient privacy. Today we'll be talking about track 3 on side 2 of my medical mixtape, with a little help from my friends by Joe Cocker. And we'll have a conversation with Tommy Nguyen, emergency room PA, rock climber, fly fisherman, music lover, foodie, and world-class friend. I'm also pretty sure his resting pulse rate is about 37 beats per minute, but I haven't verified that. He's such a great dude, and he shares some amazing insights on the power of friendships in life and in medicine. I can't think of my journey through medicine or through life without thinking of the importance of real friendships. Friendships where you really share each other's triumphs and traumas. Thus, the Joe Cocker song, and I'd like to share a story to give you a sense of just how these medical friendships can feel. Early spring 2020 was a strange time in the ERs of Texas. To be fair, it was a strange time everywhere. The world had shut down. No one was leaving their homes except essential workers. Elective surgeries were canceled. But COVID hadn't really hit our population down here yet. And so our ERs were pretty empty for a while, which was really quite eerie. People were just staying home. We were all getting reports from the news, and more importantly from our ER buddies on the East Coast, of just how terrible this disease was. And nobody had any idea just how dangerous it would be. If this disease was going to be just as deadly as SARS, or worse, there was no telling how bad things would get and how much risk we were facing on the front lines. And so we masked and gowned and wore face shields and goggles and undressed in our garages when we got home from a shift and avoided anyone outside of work. Our world was reduced to just the ER and our homes. Our people reduced to our families and our ER colleagues. That was it. And the fear was real. It wasn't crippling, but it was real. We didn't kiss our spouses for a while. We kept distance from our kids at times. We never knew if we were bringing a deadly plague home with us to hurt those we love the most. We never knew which patient might bring this disease to us unsuspecting, or which one of us might die just from going to work. Sounds a little extreme and dramatic, right? But that's the reality of what we faced, and we were able to do it proudly and defiantly because we had each other. I was working an ER shift with my buddy Andy early that spring when a middle-aged patient with a concerning complaint arrived by ambulance. Her complaint? She was coughing up blood. And I mean, she was really coughing up bright red blood. A lot of it. That's never a good sign. And the patient? A celebrity we both admired. Oh, geez. There are several ways a patient in these dire straits can die, and die quickly. Most notably, she can lose so much blood that she goes into shock. Or all the blood can fill up her lungs and her airway, and she can suffocate. This patient tried to do both. It didn't take Andy long to figure out that the blood was coming from the base of this patient's tongue, way in the back where you couldn't possibly reach it with any gauze. Andy gave her every medication we could think of to slow the bleeding, IVs and breathing treatments and clotting medications, and the blood kept coming. Andy and I had popped in and out of the room many times and could tell the patient was getting a bit delirious. Shock was setting in. She had lost a lot of blood, and more drastic measures would be needed. We needed to intubate her, to sedate her and put in a breathing tube so the tongue could be accessed, the bleeding controlled. Andy took the lead. We had come up with some protocols for how to safely intubate somebody in the time of COVID. We had to treat every patient like they had COVID because we just couldn't know, and we had to treat COVID like it was going to kill us because we had no reason to think it wouldn't. We had made some intubating boxes to place over a patient's head and face while intubating to protect us from whatever virus might be in his or her airway. These boxes were cubes made out of PVC pipes, covered in transparent plastic wrap with holes cut out for our hands. We made these after learning about them from colleagues who were in the thick of the first American COVID waves. And so Andy donned goggles, an N95 mask, and a full plastic face shield. I donned the same and came into the room just in case Andy needed a second set of eyes and hands. Andy gave his patient the meds to sedate and paralyze her so Andy could intubate her. After these meds, the patient stops breathing, and you have precious little time to get a tube in place. We put the intubation box over her head and face to protect us, and Andy went to work. And now the patient is paralyzed and no longer breathing, and her oxygen level is dropping. And Andy is trying to visualize her vocal cords so he can pass the breathing tube through them and into her lungs. But Andy's goggles are covered with sweat, his face shield with condensation. The plastic intubation box is hard to see through, and there's blood everywhere that just keeps coming, making it impossible for Andy to see anything with his laryngoscope, let alone find the vocal cords. This case would be a nightmare under the best of circumstances. A bloody airway is one of the diciest cases in emergency medicine, enough to ramp up the heart rate of even a seasoned ER doc like Andy. But now, with zero visibility, the threat of a deadly virus, and the life of a treasured celebrity in his hands, this was terrifying. Andy looked and looked for what was likely just a few seconds, but what felt like an eternity. As Andy's wingman, I held a scalpel and some betadine at Andy's bedside, ready to cut a breathing hole in the patient's neck if Andy couldn't find safe passage for the tube. I would make the cut in just a few more seconds. We were running out of time. If Andy couldn't secure the airway, I would have to try. We couldn't let her oxygen drop any further. And then Andy just said, screw it. No patient was going to die on his watch. COVID precautions be damned. He threw off the intubating box with all its ridiculous saran wrap and PVC pipes. He ripped his condensation-soaked face shield and his foggy goggles off his face. He got the view he needed, and he slid that tube in right where it needed to be. Oxygen level came right back up, and the patient was transferred to the ICU where specialists were able to finally stop the bleeding. Many hours and several blood transfusions later. Later that night, while the rest of the world slept, we met up on Andy's back porch, still stunned by how insane that case had been. The celebrity of it all, the bloody airway of it all, the COVID of it all. We sat there wondering if we would be the next to die from COVID. We leaned back in his rocking chairs and unwound the best way we could think of at the time. We sipped a little whiskey in the starlight and listened to some Sunvolt, an alt-country band we both loved, to calm our nerves.
May the wind take your troubles away. May the wind take your troubles away. Both feet on the floor, two hands on the wheel. May the wind take your troubles away.
We still talk about that night whenever we get together. It's those moments of life and death, of being there for each other when the adrenaline is high. Those moments of having each other's back. Those moments form the bonds of friendship in emergency medicine. I can't even tell you how many times someone was in the room holding the scalpel for me, ready to back me up, to help me save a life, or there to console me after a shift when I'd been unable to save that life, or after I'd blown it with a misdiagnosis that had killed a patient. You can walk as carefully as you like through the minefield of medicine, but you're still going to get hit sometimes. That's why I need my friends in medicine. All I need is my buddies. I love how Joe Cocker made this song his own. I gotta say, compared to Joe Cocker's version, the original just sounds kind of cute. The Beatles song plays very steady and straightforward, very balanced and neat. We hear Ringo's droll delivery of the verses and chorus and the perfectly constructed harmonies that support him. It's a pleasant, nice tune delivered by the Fab Four in an orderly manner consistent with their full Sgt. Pepper's regalia. It's a great song. It's cute. And I don't need cute in my friendships. Life hurts a little too much sometimes for cute. Now listen to Joe Cocker's recording. There's nothing steady or straightforward about it. A quiet buildup of drums and organ to open the song leads to an unexpected outburst of cascading notes screaming out of the electric guitar. You can feel the emotion each time these notes fall down. And I love his stripped down verses. Such gentleness, such vulnerability, such honesty.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
But then the gentle singing steadily gives way to Joe's wailing that grows wilder with each subsequent chorus. By the end of the song, he sounds half crazed. The man is growling at this point. It's not a nice tune at all. It's a cry for help.
Baby, said I'm gonna make it without bread. Oh, I'm gonna keep
Joe Cocker's is the version I need on my medical mixtape. The yearning, the desperation, the loss, the longing, the plea for help. These are the waters we swim in. In Joe Cocker, we find a man desperate for the help of his friends, and who may need more than just a little help. When I say I need a little help from my friends, I mean it, like Joe seemed to mean it. There are times in life when we can try to keep it all together, when we think we're doing all right, and there are times when we just stop pretending. For me, a mental health crisis in 2021 was one of those times. And my ER buddies didn't bat an eye about covering my shifts, giving me the time I needed to work through things. They were there when I needed to talk about it. They're still there, and I try to be there for them. I've learned in the past couple of years just how important it is to ask for that help, to admit that I don't have all the answers, and to lean on those around me. I am not an island. My friends and I in healthcare have hit lows in recent years we never expected. Workplace violence, career burnout, isolation, and disillusionment run rampant. Physician suicide rates are routinely rated higher than those of any other profession. But the lows can happen to any of us, healthcare worker or not. Life is hard, and bad things happen. Sometimes going through life feels less like the sun-drenched "Life is a Highway" and more like the gloom of a Smiths song.
Haven't had a dream in a long time. See, the life I've had can make a good man bad.
We humans get blindsided by diagnoses, by tragedy, by heartache. We've all got to ask for the help we need so we can hold each other up. I'm held up by a great team of friends now in palliative medicine. Just as in emergency medicine and maybe in every other human endeavor, our team is everything. We've got to check in on each other, vent to each other, laugh with each other, and sometimes cry with each other. The work wouldn't be possible without our team. Docs, nurses, nurse practitioners, chaplains, social workers. Many days on my drive into work, I play a particular playlist of songs, one I call my Pally Med mixtape. I always play it in order, rarely skipping songs, and never shuffling them. If I'm honest, some days I dread the heaviness of the work in front of me. But then Joe Cocker plays right about the time I'm parking my car and walking into the hospital. And I think about the friends who are there to help, and I realize I'm gonna get by.
Never gonna stop anymore. I'm gonna keep on trying.
With us today is Tommy Nguyen, a.k.a. Tommy Two-Tone, a.k.a. Tom Tom, founder of the Tom Tom Club, a veteran emergency room PA here in Austin, Texas. Tommy is also an expert fly fisherman, rock climber, gardener, venison enthusiast, cook, and most importantly, perhaps, curator and purveyor of trance-like musical experiences in the wild places of the world. Tommy, welcome to My Medical Mixtape. So great to have you.
Wow, what an introduction.
How many of those things are true?
All of those are true, but probably just mediocre at best through.
I disagree. You know, it's kind of, I think fly fishing is like golf, where nobody ever claims they're good. Do you know what I mean? Like you could be, I mean, maybe Tiger.
Unless you're Tiger Woods.
Yeah, Tiger Woods would probably say he's good at golf, right? But I feel like anybody who dabbles or even dabbles heavily in golf or fly fishing, they always are like, because I think it's something that humbles you, right?
Oh, yeah.
I do know that you are way better than I am at it, which doesn't take much.
We are also really good at breaking fly rods.
I'm incredible at that. In fact, that's what I want to start off by talking about, Tom. Do you consider yourself good at breaking fly rods? Hey, also repairing fly rods, though. I mean,
I think you and Mark are the expert in that.
I think so. So one of my favorite memories is paddling down the Devil's River in South Texas with you a few years ago. Well, there were 5 of us, I think, on that trip, 5 or 6.
5, I think.
And for the listener who may not know, the Devil's River is pretty odd and pretty special. It's this unspoiled piece of wilderness in South Texas. And this gorgeous green river just kind of out of nowhere winds its way through these barren wastes of South Texas desert. And Tommy, you'd been there before. This was your second trip, I think, when I went, right?
The first trip, Mark tried to kill us because it snowed.
Oh, yeah, y'all got
One
snowed.
of those nights.
How does it snow down there?
We don't know. That was the question we were trying to answer still.
Is that why we went the second time to try to solve that?
Redemption trip.
It definitely did not snow on us. It was so hot.
It was super hot. We had headwind the whole time.
And I was amazed we survived because of the crusty old river rat who was our shuttle driver. He was wearing short shorts, cowboy boots, and a very obvious pistol right inside of his boots attached to his calf. And, when I rolled in like at 3 a.m., y'all had already been there for a few hours. And after meeting that guy, I was just glad y'all were all alive.
We were glad we were alive too.
I think it was kind of touch and go there for a while, especially when he started throwing boats and garbage at us. That was really odd.
Yep. Take your recycle,
Yeah.
Austinites.
Get out of here, suburban yuppies. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, those wild places, you go to great lengths, Tom, to find really wild places. What draws you there?
I think being alone.
Yeah?
Without seeing other people there.
So do you do a lot of solo trips, or is it more like alone with your posse?
I think alone with my posse.
Yeah. Have you done many solo?
I've done one solo trip.
Okay. Was it river or backpacking?
It was backpacking.
Backpacking? Were you in bear country?
In Norway.
What? That's incredible.
Yeah, I took a bus to a park. Don't know where in Norway, but Jotunheimen National Park.
Really?
Did a solo 3-day, 2-night backpacking trip.
This is going to sound totally ignorant, but are there bears in Norway?
I don't know, and I probably should have
You
researched
don't even
more.
know. That is classic.
I didn't have bear spray.
I guess, yeah.
I don't think so. It was really kind of like arid terrain, so.
Okay. Were you like above tree line? I mean, were you above Arctic Circle? Were you?
No. Below Arctic Circle.
Okay. Pretty desolate.
Pretty desolate, like a lot of like rock, like just open boulders and rocks with lichen on it.
Okay. Yeah. Almost like pictures you see of Iceland.
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay. So when we were on that Devil's River trip, not getting shot, thankfully, and not getting snowed on either, one of the key ingredients I felt like to that trip was the vibe that you created at night while we were sitting around. It wasn't a campfire, but while we're sitting around our cooking stove. And we were the only two on that trip that had any music actually downloaded on their phone, right? So other people would try to stream things, and there was no ability to do that there because we're in the middle of
Nowhere.
just godforsaken nowhere, right? And I had 2 albums. I had, I think, Van Morrison's Astral Weeks, and I had Grateful Dead Europe 72. And then, so that created a certain vibe, sort of like a freewheeling, road tripping, I don't know, mid 20th century American vibe. And then you just took us into this other world with your music. What were we listening to, Tom?
I think you're the only person who felt that way because probably made a lot of like, dang, the same playlist over and over.
It was all old hat to them. Like, Tom, again, come on, mix it up.
I think what you remember and what I remember is Lord Huron,
Yes,
Krong. Those probably the 2 that stuck out the most. But I think I had some like Jaguar Sun, Bayonne, and maybe LCD Sound System.
Okay.
Floating around.
Okay, nice. Tycho, was that one?
Tycho, and Tycho.
Okay. So these kind of like the blend of all this just kind of created this like feel.
Yeah.
And I remember we're kind of nestled under some trees and we'd strung up
Some lights.
I mean, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. It's kind of nice, kind of sets a nice mood. We could still see the stars and stuff. But it just felt like we were kind of in this almost in
sphere.
I don't know, in a sphere of Tommy's tunes.
I think one of my friends described Tycho as like spaceship music.
Yes. And that was just kind of a surreal experience. Like, you'd think maybe harmonicas and cowboy songs out there on the Devil's River, but here we were like with spaceship music in the Tommy Trant zone. But it was awesome. And I was glad you had that because, I don't think everybody else was super psyched about like listening to old Grateful Dead concerts.
Which is also great.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Absolutely. So you're drawn to the wild places of this world. Like you just got back from Montana. You're just telling me about fishing down at the coast. Is there a similar draw to the wild places in medicine for you? Because like many would consider the ER sort of like the wilds of the medical world. Is it a similar pull? Is it like you want something that you can't tame?
Well, I don't know if this is the right answer, but I was lucky enough to work in Yellowstone in a wild place, practicing wild medicine out west. But I feel like being out there like made me appreciate why I was practicing medicine.
How so?
Because I feel like early on in our career, I feel like everyone was burnt out.
Absolutely.
And we needed an out.
Yeah.
And how did you combine being outside and practicing medicine? I still don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Maybe starting your own guiding company.
Oh, yeah.
Being like the doc or PA on the trip.
On a big trek, like a huge
right,
trek.
For reassurance for other people. But I think after having the opportunity to go and practice in a beautiful place like Yellowstone National Park, it kind of combined the two where you're practicing medicine, but also able to be outside.
That's awesome.
Where you're not.
You're like in a dreamland, basically.
Correct.
Was that the best fusion you've found of like your 2 passions?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If I can work there for the rest of my life, I would, but my friends aren't there. It's very cold in the winter time.
Yes, it is. Yeah, those winter shifts are probably pretty rough.
So I have to act like a migrating bird. So
yeah,
come back to Texas in the winter.
There you go. So you've always struck me as a guy who's very cheery and generally in good spirits. It seems like you could be happy doing lots of different things. But what is it about medicine, patient care specifically, that brings you joy?
I think what brings me joy is the people I work with
Nice.
and
Yeah.
the community that we build outside of work.
Yeah.
And those people that you build with, you get to tell stories at a campfire, and those people
Yeah.
take you to that place.
Nice.
So it's not, I hate to say, not necessarily the medicine anymore, but
Yeah.
meeting those people like-minded through medicine.
That's awesome. I think that's fantastic. That's a great answer. And, you know, and that's perfect and that's why actually I wanted to talk with you of all people for this week's episode, because I just talked about Joe Cocker's cover of the Beatles song With a Little Help from My Friends. And when I think of somebody who has integrated the importance of friendship and their career and their medical practice together, you're one of the first people that comes to mind. Because I see that as being very integral to what you do and how you function. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think I'm very fortunate to have really good people in my life.
Before we talk a little bit more about that, I wanted to ask you, this song, With a Little Help from My Friends, is a cover song. And different people have different feelings about cover songs. There are some really great ones. I sometimes feel like it's lazy. You know, like there was a big hit this year with Fast Car. Whoever it was recovered, covered the song, Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, and like got a Grammy for singing somebody else's song. Good for him. And anyway, I guess I haven't heard it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I suppose it's good. I don't know. Do you have an opinion on cover songs? Are there any cover songs you're like, no, that one nailed it. That one rules?
So actually, when I was thinking about this question, and I actually was blanking for so long, and I couldn't think of a song, honestly.
Yeah.
And then, like an hour ago, I texted my girlfriend, and I was like, I can't think of a song. And there was a song in my mind, but the song title never popped up.
Yeah.
But finally, she actually mentioned it, and I was like, this is the song.
What's the song?
Skinny Love. Birdie covers it, but by Bon Iver.
Really? Okay. That's the one.
That's the one.
Okay. So Bon Iver's the original,
Uh-huh.
and it's the Birdie cover.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to have to check that out. I understood like 3 of those words. Skinny Love. is
Skinny
what it's
Love.
called. Okay. Awesome. That's a great one. Well, I'm going to find out if that's a great one.
TBD.
That's awesome. TBD.
You let
That's
me know.
awesome. So what I do love about this cover song, this Joe Cocker's version, is that it, to me, it just feels very desperate. You know, the Beatles version is great. It's original. But like Joe Cocker, as he's singing this song sounds like he is on the verge of a mental breakdown, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it, because it sounds like, now that's a guy who knows a few things about needing friends, you know? Like that's a guy who's been through COVID.
Right.
And is dying, is desperate. And I don't know, have you ever gotten to that point where you're just like, man, where you're like Joe Cocker levels desperate for your good buddies, your good friends?
I feel like all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm not hanging out with my friends or catching up with them, I'm constantly desperate to see them the next day.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how desperate I needed friends until actually Hurricane Harvey.
Oh, really?
In 2017.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't even know I had these friends, and now these friends are like my best friends. But I actually bought this house that we're sitting in here in 2017, August, I think.
Uh-huh.
And I was sleeping, had a shift the next morning at South Austin, and I was dreaming. And my dream was I was getting rained on in my dream. I was like, well, why am I getting rained on? And then I woke up, and it was actually, I was literally getting rained on in my room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my roof was leaking
Oh.
as Hurricane Harvey was going through.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, man, this is not good. And
Like-
my shift was 9 a.m. and crawled up in my attic space. No crawl space, and I saw like this area where it was just pouring.
Oh, geez.
It was leaking down to my fan, circulating, and just spraying me in the face. So my dream became reality. I was like, oh man, this is not good. So I grabbed like a bucket, stuck it under there, and then went to work. And I texted Amanda. I was like, dude, just woke up to a disaster.
Yeah.
And I was desperate, but I didn't know how to ask for help.
Yeah.
And then like literally 2 hours later, Amanda and Lawton came over in the storm, climbed up on the roof, tarped my house where it was leaking for me.
Really?
Text me saying, hey, we tarped your house. And I didn't ask for any of this.
Oh, dude.
Just magically happened.
That is so cool.
And that was like, whoa. Didn't know friends could do, you know, thoughtful things or selfless things.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Wow. You know.
So I was desperate.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that. You know, the sad thing about that story to me is that you didn't feel like you could ask to be off of work.
That's emergency medicine.
That's emergency medicine, though, right? It's like, well, my house is on fire, but I got to be there for my shift. Yeah, so we see your dedication to emergency medicine. You get it, right? But then also friends coming through. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Next time I see that, I'm gonna tell him you told me that story. That is so cool, man. I don't know about you. I felt like we really had to kind of band together during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And I think there was a deepening of our relationships, of our friendships, of our reliance on each other during that time, because we were doing something that nobody else was doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were shutting down. They're getting checks from the government because they can't run their business, so they're getting like bailouts and just hanging out at home or like driving to the national parks. And we're like, oh, that's cool. I'll just be in the ER dealing with COVID. And it started to feel really lonely, right? Like,
Super
I don't know,
lonely.
like not within our world of medicine, but related to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very lonely time. I don't know. Did you feel that way at all?
I think I had a skewed experience.
Explain.
I only say that because I actually lived with my best friends during COVID.
There you go.
So when I came back from my Euro trip traveling in 2020.
Oh yeah, you went and saw the world.
Yeah, I saw the world. We just hiked the O circuit in South America.
Oh my gosh. You're ridiculous, by the way.
And literally we flew back like March, I don't remember, 14th or mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few days later, everything was shut down.
Oh, wow.
But at that point, I had people living in my house.
Yeah.
So I actually moved in with Amanda Lawton over in Travis countryside.
Right. So you had like an immediate...
So
you had your connection.
Correct.
You had your friends right there.
And we already had our community, and
Yeah.
nothing really changed.
Yeah.
Minus that, again, we were lonely in the ER.
Yeah.
But I had a space to come home to.
That's nice.
So like,
and friends to see. And like your community was also other people doing the same thing.
Right.
Other people out there doing the COVID thing. That's good, man.
So we kind of like had family meals together, cooked every day together.
That's pretty...
So in some sense, nothing really changed.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, a lot of things changed for millions of people.
Of course. Yeah. So I want to go back and ask you a little bit more about you as a fly fisherman, as a rock climber, and as a PA. Okay. So I was talking with one of our other colleagues about this, about how sometimes in a work setting or in a sport or in something, you can almost feel like you're entering into a flow state. Are you like ever so in the zone climbing or fishing that you're just like, you know, I am one with the river or I am one with the rock?
100%.
Yeah.
In both realms.
Have you felt that at work ever?
Some days where you don't have to talk to consultants.
Yeah.
And everyone goes home and you go home on time.
And you feel like you're able to do what the patients need.
Right. Or the complete opposites. Like you have a good supervising doc you're working with.
Yeah.
very great collaborative medicine.
Yeah.
And, you're taking good care of patients. You go home on time. You had a great day.
That's a great day. Yeah. Just like if you're out there in the Guadalupe River slaying rainbows.
It's like having a good cast with a dry fly and someone takes it visually.
Yeah.
And your line gets tight.
And
you're in the zone.
And then you yank it out of their mouth.
Yeah, and then then your fly breaks off, and then
no, that's if I'm doing it.
Yeah, and then you slip in the water. Your waders get all filled up, and you're like, oh man,
dang it,
what a terrible day. Still a great day.
That's still a great day. Anytime you get to the river or you get to the rock, that's a good day, right?
100%.
Yeah. So, working in an ER, I know you have seen and done plenty of crazy things. Does it ever overwhelm you? Do you ever get overwhelmed? Or did you used to when you were first starting, when you were training?
Yeah, I think, that question, the answer is yes. I think getting overwhelmed was more frequent in the few years of practicing ER medicine. But I think you develop, you kind of know what you're doing.
Yeah, your patients hope so.
As time goes by, but then you have really good doctors that you're working with.
Yeah.
So there's always a safety net.
Yeah.
In some sense. That kind of washes out when I'm practicing in Yellowstone.
Because you're on your own there.
Because I'm on my own, but you have supervising doc on call, but it's call help, not physical help.
Right. They're not there to lay eyes on the patient. Yeah.
But I feel through time you learn, through experience, you kind of get more comfortable of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think I will always feel uncomfortable, but just less of it as time goes through.
Yeah. I think you said it well there, that being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Right.
And almost knowing where that limit is, where whoa, I'm way out over what I'm comfortable with here, knowing when to call for help.
Correct.
And for you, it may be a supervising doctor. For me in the ER, it may have been calling a specialist.
Right.
I don't know. I'm past the point of knowing what to do for this heart condition or whatever. I'm going to call this cardiologist. And if you have a good relationship with them, if it's somebody you're friendly with, it makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. Do you have certain music you play to decompress? You come off a rough night shift or anything like that? Is it your taiko? Is it Krongben? These kind of vibey. What do you go to?
So I have it's called Sleepy Time playlist.
Sleepy Time playlist? That sounds amazing.
But it's all really chill.
Yeah.
Chill stuff, and you kind of hit on a lot of
some
them.
of the musicians there. Yeah.
So taiko has been, I guess, my number one artist for the last decade.
Okay.
Or just slow acoustic stuff.
Yeah.
Like Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Oh, I love Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Or,
so
Bon Iver.
Yeah.
Or Kevin Morby.
Okay, I need to write that one down.
And then there's stuff that's really a little bit more upbeat, like Bayonne. Or just stuff that's just all instrumental, like Explosion in the Skies, Val Murray.
Yeah.
That's kind of just mindless, soft, pretty music.
Nice.
That kind of I don't know, beautiful, but at the same time calming.
Yeah. Do you ever go back to music from your youth that you listened to with your family growing up, or is that part of your repertoire? What was that like? Did you share music with your family growing up?
So, yeah. So the answer is yes, but the music that my parents shared to me was all Vietnamese music.
Okay.
And a lot of them I honestly don't know or remember, but it's all through Paris by Night, which is kind of a video recorded concert.
Oh, really?
So,
Paris by Night.
Paris by Night.
Is that the name of the artist, or is that the name of this event?
Event.
Okay.
Kind of like ACL Live.
Okay.
At the Moody.
Yeah.
But we weren't really exposed to a lot of classical music or music here in the States until high school.
Okay. So you grew up, and did you grow up always in America?
Uh-huh.
But in the house, it was Vietnamese music?
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha. And do you ever, when you're visiting your mom, Do you listen to Paris by Night at all together? Is
We
that
haven't.
a thing? Okay.
But I should.
I'm not telling you what you should or shouldn't.
I
cool
only bring
idea.
that up because recently we were in a wedding in DC and they were playing Paris by Night, but they're like, I don't know what episode or year it was, but it was so far out. And some of it is nostalgic, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind it at all. I think it was different kind of music, different kind of format, but you know, it was good stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes I know I do, I know other people do. You almost like, and I've had patients do this where they pick a song or an artist that they know is going to hit in a certain way because they need to have a good cry or they need to like get stuff out. They need to process, and sometimes music can be the catalyst for them to like just have an ugly cry or just kind of get into like a contemplative state or something like that. Do you ever, pick and choose music to kind of like almost direct your like emotional experience?
Moody music.
Yeah, moody music. Emo.
That's
what my kids would say. I don't know. I think that word gets misused a lot. But.
Yeah, for sure. I think the artist that comes to mind is Death Cab for Cutie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Gets me it's a different vibe.
That is a different vibe. I like Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah. Or
yeah.
Ben Gibbard or Postal Service. I feel like
okay.
all of his stuff puts me in a different mood in a good way.
Yeah.
Like you're already sad. That might make you sadder, or happier.
It's not making it hurt more.
No.
Or something. It's like allowing it.
Correct.
Or validating it or something, I know that you and your sister and your family have been going through a lot this past year with your mom in Houston. And, for the listener, if I may, your mom has been dealing with cancer.
Yeah.
And really hard cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how that has impacted, influenced, affected the way you approach patients, or if there are certain patient presentations that are like off limits now, it's too close to home, things like this. Like, do you find it harder, easier, or just different, like to go into work now dealing with that on the home front?
I think it's definitely different.
Yeah.
And more, I feel like I have more empathy.
Yeah.
For patients or families going through it.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you want to be better around these patients because, like, you don't realize how much they're going through unless you're going through it yourself.
Yeah.
But for anyone out there, my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer. And going back to the friend, like needing a friend, when I told Amanda Lott and Katie that, they came over and made me pancakes.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So that was good.
That's awesome. You're a blessed man. But I think, friendship is one of those things that's a two-way street, buddy. Like, I know that they're that kind of friend to you and you're that kind of friend to them.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know I need pancakes that day, but when I got off the phone, they packed their bags, they stayed over.
Oh my gosh.
Katie made me pancakes. It was good. But I think going back to like how I approach medicine, like I feel like there's been so many, I feel like it's way more highlighted in the past few months.
Yeah.
Just seeing way more cases and feeling a lot of emotions when you see, bad words on a radiology report that you don't want to tell your patients.
Yeah.
But like, it's a way I feel like you could connect with them and families, and they actually feel for you too. Like, if
you offer it up sometimes to patients? Like, hey, I know this is really hard. We've been going through this in my family.
Way more, like almost all the time.
Yeah. I think that I'm not a linguist, and somebody could easily correct me on this, but compassion, I think literally means like with suffering or suffering with, right?
Right.
Like the passion can mean lots of different things, but like the passion of the Christ is like his suffering. Mm-hmm. Compassion is like suffering with. And as you talk about this and you're with a family, you're with a patient and you have hard news to share with them, but then you're like, hey, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm there. I think as a patient, I would really appreciate that, you know?
Yeah, I think my biggest thing I've been telling patients or family is like, you are not alone.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people hearing that makes them feel more at ease, or like someone out there is also feeling my struggle.
Yeah. You know, I think, and, you know, so much of what I've been wanting to say and write and teach over the last couple of years, having gone through my own like challenges coming out of COVID and dealing with some mental health stuff, and just like how this whole wild ride in medicine can really eat you up, is, you know, we all go through stuff. We all go through really hard things. And I think that message of you are not alone is like one of the most important things that you can say, whether it's you're not alone because of this really hard medical thing you're going through. You're not alone as a doctor who is struggling to stay positive. You're not alone as a burnt out PA wondering what the heck you're doing. And that's that just exactly what you're saying, like echoes, I feel like just a really important message. So thanks so much for sharing that, by the way. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I feel like more people need to hear that, because again, a lot of people feel like they're alone, but they don't know how to express it.
Even going back to the Hurricane Harvey example, you didn't even know to ask for help. You were just like, well, guess I'll just have a wet house.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
but you weren't alone then either. People were there to, like, you know, my gosh.
And it's like, because me and my sister got this a lot, and I think people truly don't know what to do or how to help. Is like when you tell, like, oh, my mom's really sick, and your friend or good close friend asks, like, I'm here for you, anything you need. Yeah. But like, I don't know what I need. No. You don't know how to help. Right. But sometimes saying you're not alone. Yeah. And here's some pancakes.
Here's some pancakes.
And that's all you need.
That's all you need. Yeah. Or a random phone call.
Exactly.
You know, like, instead of listening to the podcast, except for this one, but on the drive home, you know what? Hey, I wonder how TomTom's doing. Yeah. I think I'll give him a call. You know, I know he's been going through some stuff.
And that's kind of my thing. It's like, you know, I have to drive to Houston to see my mom, but I make a laundry list of phone calls on the way back just to like catch up with people, update people, cry with people.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Etc.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing that, Tom. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on this podcast. And maybe when the weather cools down, you can get me out to Reimer's Ranch. Have you been climbing a lot lately?
Dude, did you check the weather?
Yeah, I know.
So freaking hot. No,
by lately, I mean in the last few years. You forget how old I am. I'm like, yeah, I've climbed recently, 5 years ago. Like,
actually,
that seems recent to me.
Yeah, I told you I climbed at Grand Teton.
Oh.
Back in 2021.
Yeah. Yep.
And then that was probably a bigger climb. I guess the most recent climb was last year. We climbed the Wild Iris.
You climbed what?
In Wild Iris in Wyoming.
I don't know that area.
Super pretty.
Is it
right outside Lander? Lander, yeah.
Outside of Lander. Gotcha. Okay, so I have a series of quick questions, and we're going to wrap up, okay? So these are going to come rapid fire.
Hit me.
You just got to answer right away, okay? Beatles or Stones?
Beatles.
Biggie or Tupac?
Tupac.
Taylor Swift or Beyonce?
Queen Bee.
Classical or hip-hop?
Hip-hop.
Harry Styles or Frank Sinatra?
Frank Sinatra.
Willie Nelson or Bob Dylan?
Willie Nelson.
Jimi Hendrix or Prince?
Prince.
Foo Fighters or Nirvana?
Nirvana.
The XX or Khruangbin?
Khruangbin.
U2 or Radiohead?
Radiohead.
Oh! You were doing great.
Can I say both for the last one?
You can't. Okay. You can't. Hey, you know, you went with your first instinct. I can't fault you for that. One day I'm going to tally these up.
Yeah.
And, everybody gets a slightly different list.
Really?
Everybody starts with Beatles and Stones and ends with U2 or Radiohead.
Yeah. So, I like that.
Yeah. So yours it's a custom curated list just for TomTom. Okay, now
Thanks,
Tommy,
dude.
Final question. What's on your mixtape? If you could tell the story of your life right now through song, what would be on your mixtape? What's a couple songs that are on there?
I have 6 for you.
Oh, no way. Yes.
Yeah.
You're giving me homework, by the way, because I bet you I won't know a single one of these.
You do know a single one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because then I'm gonna like go look this stuff up. This
Yeah.
is great.
Well, the first one's Lord Huron.
Oh, fantastic.
Song title Brother.
Okay.
2 is Gregory Alan Isaacoff.
Yeah.
Song title Mistakes.
Okay.
3 is Tycho, Into the Woods.
Ooh, nice.
4 is Words by Bayonne.
Okay.
5, another one you know, Krongbin. Song title Number 4.
That's the song title.
Number 4.
Number 4.
And lastly, Big Wild, the Effer-Sphere. I think that's how you enunciate it.
What's the name of the band?
Big Wild.
Big Wild.
Big Wild.
Like where you're basically your life.
Yeah. No.
Seeking the big wild out there.
Seeking a steady wild.
No 25-foot whippers.
No.
Yeah. More like waist deep fly fishing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't wish that upon anyone.
Yeah. Oh man. Tom, thanks so much for your time, your stories, your vulnerability, and your music. It's been awesome talking with you, buddy. And most importantly, thank you for your friendship.
Well, thanks, TJ. Love
right.
talking to you. See you on the river.
See you on the river, Tom.
With another broken rod.
This episode of my medical mixtape has been a Crash Cart Campfire production. Thank you, as always, to our editor and producer, Sarah Brager. Thank you to our special guest, Tommy Nguyen, for his time, stories, and authenticity, and for his awesome music suggestions. Thank you also to Dr. Andy Jones for helping me remember our wild times in COVID. Thank you to all my medical friends out there. Thank you for being there for me. I love you guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the pod and share it with your friends. You can find more pod and other content at tylerjorgensen.substack.com. Now please check out With a Little Help from My Friends by Joe Cocker on your favorite music streamer, or even better, find it on vinyl or cassette. See you next time, friends.